writing, hit the 3 dots at the top. And then it'll do a little, there's a little X thing, and it'll pop up where you can write. Okay, so here we go. A dilation is a transformation by which a figure is enlarged or reduced by a scale factor. Remember, the word factor means to multiply. The word factor means to multiply. If the scale factor for a dilation is less than 1, the figure will reduce. That means it's going to get smaller. If the scale factor for the dilation is greater than 1, the figure will enlarge. On a coordinate plane, the scale factor will be the same for both the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate. So like we had, if we have a scale factor of 2, you would write 2x, 2y. Okay, so you can't write 2x and then 5y. It has to be the same number, so whatever you get, you just put in front of the x and you put in front of the y. Because if you put 2 different numbers, it's going to change the shape. And these do not change the shape, they just get bigger or smaller. Now, you're going to take one of your colors and you are going to, now let's go ahead and put up here, new over original. And let's take a highlighter, your choice of color, I don't care, and highlight your original, the word original. Remember, we say no. Do you see how it reads no up and down? Now, you're going to say, how do I know which is my original? Well, here it says, square ABCD was dilated to create the origin as the center of dilation to create square A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. So those little baby little things up there, they look kind of like ones or commas or apostrophes. That is your new one, like junior, okay? So your original is always the one without the baby ones. The baby ones is junior. He came second. Highlight your original. Your original is the one without the baby ones. Then you're going to ask yourself this question. Is your new figure, the one that's not highlighted, bigger or smaller? I see all bigger. Yes. So that means my answer has to be greater than 1. These are usually slide answers. So you can get rid of all the answers that were less than 1. Okay? They are going to have, say your answer's 2. They're also going to have the answer of 1/2 for those people who say on instead of no. Okay? So they know they're always going to put the opposite. So you always get rid of those answers. So the easiest way to do this, you can pick any point. I like to pick the ones that are positive. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to draw a line because I know it's new over original. And I'm actually going to take my highlighter and highlight the bottom. Okay, now, it does not matter which side or point you use. You could use the top, you can use the side, you just want to use a straight side. You can actually use an ordered pair. I'm going to show you both on this way, and then you can choose which method you want to do. You're going to see I'm actually using an ordered pair. I am just not using both numbers. So I'm going to use this leg right here. I'm going to use that side of my figure. That's my original, so whatever number I say goes on bottom. Okay? So what number did I just go through on my x-axis? 2. Oh, you're so quiet. 2. Everybody see that? They went through 2. And these are labeling every other one, just so you know that. Okay? So whichever side I use on that figure, I have to use the same side on the other figure. So, where am I at on my new figure? 6. So what is 6 divided by 2? 3. So how do we write this answer? XY. So you'll always write XY. Because your original, whether it's positive or negative, you would write XY. You told me my scale factor is 3. So we're going to write 3x, 3y, and we're done. That's it. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this with ordered pairs. You're going to see it's the same thing as we just did. I think the first way I showed you is easier, but it's totally up to you. Now, don't use an ordered pair that the numbers stay the same, because that could confuse you. But all of these kind of, actually we usually, it doesn't matter on this. When we do our rotations, that's when you'll get lost and don't use the number. Like, I wouldn't use C because it's 2, 2. Okay? Okay, but we can use, let's use D down, no, it's a B. So let's use the ordered pair for B. The ordered pair for B is 2, -2. The ordered pair of B prime, your new B, is 6, -6. We're only going to do this on this one. And then you're going to see, oh, she is just using that one number. Okay? Now, it doesn't matter which number you use. I'm going to go ahead and highlight my ordered pair of my original. I know whichever number I pick, I'll put that on bottom. Would you rather use the +2 or the -2? Positive 2. Yeah, me too. So if I put that highlighter, new over original, if you say you want to use the positive, that's my X. So that means I have to use my X on my new one. And do you see I'm still using the same numbers? If I put -6 over -2, that would also give me a +3. A negative divided by a negative gives me a positive. So do we see how simple that is? Now I'm going to show you on the next one you cannot use because you're not going to have any clue which one happened or what happened. Okay, so look at this figure. Which one is my original? The big or the little? The big. Because the big one doesn't have baby ones. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. Now, you're going to see why I'm going to tell you this. You can use any point on here but A. Do you see A does not change? A is 0, 0. Make sure right there. Do you see A is 0, 0, so you're not going to see what the change is? Because if you multiply 0 times 0, you're going to get 0. Okay? Okay, so which point do we want to pick? B or C? Totally your choice. If somebody wanted to pick B, you'd come out with the same answer for the person who picked C. So it does not matter which one you pick. What do we want to do? B? Okay. I personally, if I would have just kept going, I would have said C. Because do you see it's up in the air? It's just totally out of the way, but it doesn't matter. He said B, so we're going to do B. Then I'll show you C and show you we're still going to get the same answer. Now, on B, I see it's easier to just go down and hit my x-axis. In a minute, I'm going to show you C, and I'm going to go across and hit my y-axis. You're going to see I'm just using the different letter in the ordered pair, and it doesn't matter. Okay? So on B, if I go to my original, what did I go down and hit? Your 6, so your original is 6. Ooh. Where's my new B? At 3. Oh, we did not discuss this before, sorry. Is my new figure bigger or smaller? Smaller. So that means my answer needs to be less than 1. So that's a question you need to ask yourself. When you get your answer, is your answer less than 1? So reduce that. Reduce that, 3 over 6. And what does that reduce to? If you don't know, pick up your calculator. Do alpha y equal. Pick up your calculator. Do alpha y equal. And do 3 over 6. And what does it give you? 1/3. Perfect. Ask yourself that question. Is it less than 1? Is 1/3 less than 1? Yes. Isn't like that. If you don't know if it's less than 1, in your calculator, type in 1 divided by 3 and hit enter. Is that number you just got less than 1? Because there's nothing in front. So if you're not sure, do you see how to check that on your calculator? Now, I'm going to pick C, just to show you we can get the same answer. You're only going to have to do 1. I used to teach with a teacher that he may do every single point. I don't know why, because you get the same answer. Okay, but I'm going to show you with C, we're still going to get the same answer, so it's not going to matter. So my new over original my new is at what? 10. And my, oops, sorry, that goes down here. And I would have noticed that when I put it in my calculator to check myself, it wouldn't have been less than 1. And my original is at, oh, we're glad we're doing this because y'all told me 1/3. My original is at what? My new's at what? 5. Okay, stick that in your calculator. We're going to have to stick 3 6 in our calculator again because I listen to y'all. Do you see that's 1/2? I don't know. Did y'all really put 3 6 in your calculator and get 1/3? No. What'd you get?
1/2. I got that, but y'all were all saying 1/2. So.
What, everybody else was saying 1/3? You're like, I must have typed it wrong?
Yeah.
That would have to be 3 over 9 to be 1/3. Okay? So do you see how that was pretty good to do so you could test yourself if you messed up on the first one? You don't have to do 2 points, but you have to be careful when you're getting your numbers. But do you see you should come out with the same answer? Okay? And so, how do you write your rule? Whatever you get, put in front of the X. Whatever you get, put in front of the Y. That's it. Okay. Which one is my original? The small one. Good. So you've got to really look for those baby ones. Okay. Remember, it doesn't matter which point you pick, and we're only going to use 1. So personally, with a triangle, I would pick the top one. It's right up there in the middle. I don't have to worry about when I go to an x-axis or a y-axis running into something else. I can just go like this. New over original. I always want to see new over original. And then you plug in your numbers in. So I would pick R. So I would go to R. And where is it sitting on my original? If you need to, you can number. Where's it sitting on my original? 3. That goes on bottom. Oh, let's ask ourselves. Did my figure get bigger or smaller? Larger. So you're going greater than 1, right? Because it got larger, it got bigger. You can write bigger or larger, I don't care which. Just make sure when you get your answer, that your answer is greater than 1. Okay, where is my new R?
8.
At 8. Now, up here, just so you know, on the STAR test, if you left it 6/2, if they made you type it, that would be a correct answer. Anything that gives you a 3 would be correct. On the second one, 3/6 gives you 1/2. 5/10 gives you 1/2. All 3 of those would be correct answers. Okay? They actually, if you don't reduce it now on the STAR test, if it is a type N, they will count it correct. Okay? So, go ahead and go to your calculator and do alpha y equal 8/3. If you don't know if it reduces or not, just stick it in your calculator and try it. Sometimes you just have to use the tips of your... Did it change? No. If you want to know what that number looks like to make sure it's greater than 1, in a normal calculator, just hit 8 divided by 3 and hit enter. Is that number greater than 1? Yes. Do not write that ugly decimal. Do not. We are going to just leave that as an improper fraction. 8/3x, 8/3y, and you're done. Leave it just like that. Okay, you ready to try one on your own? Sure. Do number 8. Circle 1 was dilated, and it's always going to say with the origin as the center of dilation. It's always going to say that. That means it's just dilating around the 0, 0. So don't let those words scare you. Okay, so I'll help you with this part. Which one is my original?
The small one.
Okay, so figure 1 comes first, right? Figure 1 comes before figure 2. Go for it. Ready? As you can see, these don't take long. Okay, you can pick the very top of the circle or you pick a side of the circle. It doesn't matter which. I probably wouldn't pick this because it's a negative. I probably wouldn't pick this side because it's also a negative. I would pick the right side or the top. Okay? So, where is my original? What number? 2. It didn't matter if you pick side or top, it would still go 2, right? And where is my new? Yes! Leave it like that. 5/2. Now, this one does come out to a pretty decimal. So I want you to know if it comes to a pretty decimal, you can totally write the pretty decimal. What is 5 divided by 2? 2.5. So you can totally write 5/2x, 5/2y, or 2.5x, 2.5y. Either one is correct. Okay, star test, they would take either one. Okay, now sometimes they might give you word problems, which I personally think are easier, because then you don't have to figure out numbers. Okay, a triangle has vertices of J, K, and L. What are the coordinates of the vertices of the image after a triangle is dilated by a scale factor of 2/3? They could do this and then give you multiple choice. Okay, so 2/3 just means, what does scale factor mean? What do we do when we factor something? Think about the X factor. So, that means we're going to multiply. You are going to pick up your calculator. I'm going to rewrite the originals right down here. These are the ones that are above. You're going to pick up your calculator. The sign will stay the same. Okay? So I know if it's a negative, it stays a negative. That's not going to change, so don't waste your time plugging that in. You're going to pick up your calculator, and you're going to type in 2 times alpha y equal. Oh, so maybe the Snapchat turned off. And put 2/3 and hit enter.
4/3.
Everybody agree? Now, every 2, do you see I already put the negative in front of that one? So don't I already have the numbers for L also? Because those are 2, so I know that's a positive 4/3 and that's a positive 4/3 because it was 2 positives. You were just taking the numbers they gave you and multiplying by 2/3. If it was a scale factor of 5, you just multiply all your order pairs by 5. So take 4 and multiply it times 2/3. What is -4 times 2/3?
-8/3.
-8/3. Oh, this is the hardest one. What's 1 times 2/3? 2/3. And what is 5 times 2/3? Yes. 5 times 2/3.
10/3.
10/3. Okay, I want you to find the scale factor for this one. This is probably the one that I don't have a number on. I need a number. I was like, I don't know what number this is. Go ahead. I'm ready to move things. get your original. And remember, if you're ever absent, you've got the info online to catch up so you're not behind. No, they've even taken it out of tomorrow. It's gonna snow, it'll be Thursday. It's supposed to start tomorrow, wet and stuff, by then they've taken that out. Okay, which is your original? Big or small? Big. So what happened? Does everybody see? That's where you're gonna miss it. You just need to make sure you look for those baby ones. The one with baby ones is your new. Don't highlight it. So we have new over original. Which letter did you choose?
The highest one.
L, that's what I put. Original O. So you chose L. Where's L sitting at the original? 12. Good. So you're noticing the numbers are jumping. Good. And where is my new?
-5. 4.
At 4. Do you see that's above 0, 0? So it's got to be positive.
0.
Right here, where they cross.
Oh.
Yep, that's always 0, 0. So if you needed to put a dot right there so you know that's 0, 0, so you can count it from that, you can always do that. Okay. Could you leave your answer as that? Yeah. On the STAR test, that would count. So did my figure get bigger or smaller? Smaller. So it has to be less than 1. So let's go ahead and reduce that. Alpha y equal, this doesn't take much brain. Alpha y equal 4 divided by 12. Everyone should be doing this. This is how we get participation grades. Alpha y equal. What is 4 divided by 12? 1/3. So you would write that as x. Y, no matter what we do for the next month, and as you see, I have everything we're doing on the calendar already. No matter what we do for the next month, XY is going to be sitting at the front with an arrow, and then you write what happened. 1/3 X, 1/3 Y. Pretty easy, isn't it? This is a teak on its own. Dilation is, so they usually ask 2 of these on the STAR test. Okay. On this one, we're just going to say whether the scale factor is a reduction, that means gets smaller, or an enlargement gets larger. I'm not going to make you write the whole word. Let's write RE. Are we okay with that? Okay. 3. If I said you have a scale factor of 3, is your figure going to get bigger or smaller? 3. Okay, let's do this. If it's a reduction, it's less than 1. If it's an enlargement, it's greater than 1. Maybe we need to put that down. Because some of y'all were like, not sure.
Larger?
It is enlargement because it was 3 and 3 is greater than 1. What about 1/3? Greater than 1 or less than 1?
Greater than
1/3?
Oh, no.
If the number is smaller on top, it's less, okay? So that is a reduction. Five over 4. Enlargement, because do you see? It's an improper fraction. The number is larger on top, so it's an enlargement. If you don't know what 5 over 4, if it's greater than 1 or less than, could you put 5 divided by 4 in your calculator and hit enter? If there's a number in front of the decimal, you know it's greater than 1. And 0.93.
Less than 1.
So that is a reduction. Okay. Figure A is going to be our original. Go ahead and find the scale factor for number 5. Okay, which is my original? The big or small?
The big.
The big. Because A is my original. It tells you that. So you could go ahead and go, woo, woo, all my originals. You shouldn't be waiting on me to do this. You should have already done it. New over original. Where is my original sitting? Is what? 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, highlighter. 3. It's because I wrote it in the wrong spot anyway. And my new is where? Oh, I'll erase my highlight. Is it 1? Did your figure get bigger or smaller? Smaller. So I know it had to be less than 1. So I would write that. When it says K, that just means what is your scale factor? I don't know why they put it as K, but it is a K. So XY, 1/3 X, 1/3 Y. Okay, number 6. Is it getting larger or smaller? Okay, larger. So I know it has to be greater than 1. So new over original. Where is my original at? Did you use this right here? You could use that or that, right? Doesn't matter. Okay, so 2. And where is my new? If you need to number them. 5. So, if you need to, where they cross, that's 0, 0. Go from there. Okay? And we're going to stop there. Yes, please put your calculator in the calculator holder.